All right, everybody. Bob Chick back with David Baye. We're here with the last rep once again. And David, we are knocking on the door. May is here.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, the contest schedule is about to get into full swing. With the Arnold Australia, a couple of bigger shows. It's been a little bit of a slower start in the spring, but in May we have Pittsburgh, we have New York, the Arnold South Africa, we got Toronto in June, then we got Junior Nationals, we got the Dallas Europa in July. We have Chicago, we have Vancouver, we have Masters Nationals and Team U, we have the USA's the week after, we have Tampa, then we have California. I mean, it's
Well,
the summer. Things are really ramping up as far as contests go. So these
speaking
next
of
couple.
shows, I'd be remiss, my friend, if I didn't mention the fact that you're looking a little lean and mean over there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm competing in 2 days, so
Two
got my weight
days.
got my weight down to where I want it to be. So starting to slowly add some carbs back in today. So I feel good. Decided I wasn't going to worry about really what I weighed on stage as long as I made heavyweight, and I'm looking like I'm good for that. So
Well, speaking of shows, David, immediately concluding our taping of this show, of course, I am on a plane to Orlando. Our good friends Ed and Betty Pariso down there, along with Scott Templeton, Eric Hillman, and the whole crew from Europa. The Europa Games has started once again for the year 2016, and Orlando's going to kick it off. No men's open this time around, but physique, figure, and board shorts maybe? I might be off on that one, but three pro divisions.
board shorts.
So,
You don't even call it men's physique anymore.
whatever. We all know what it is, but
Should be a good show. Always is, and a great expo as always as well. And
yeah, it's going to be jammed up, man. Orlando's actually the size that Dallas used to be. So for anybody in the Orlando area, I'd highly suggest coming out. It's a huge, huge expo. All kinds of vendors, all kinds of freebies. I mean, it's a lot of fun. A lot of pros in attendance, of course. So looking forward to that and kicking that off once again this year. So David, lots of hot button topics on for the week. We've been on for the last couple of weeks trying to coordinate schedules, and I've been a little bit busy myself, as most people have heard. I have signed with Iron Mag Labs. Our good friend Rob DiMaggio out in Las Vegas. Big shout out to Rob and the crew.
Longtime sponsor.
Yes, we put together some business and a title. How about that, David? VP, Vice President
Did
of Business
did you
Development.
did you go online and use one of those title generators where it gives you like manager, vice president, and then it's like a 3-column title generator. So if
Well,
you don't have one, you can make something up real fancy.
well, commish was taken, but so I had to go with my next best bet. And you know, speaking of which, so I once again, you like to let it die. You just like to not to give it a lot of presence or attention. But I got to bring it up, bro. I mean, over the weekend they had a show. It wasn't a very good one. 20 people, 25 in attendance, no sponsors, no nothing. The whole deal, the usual by now. But one bikini girl used to compete with us in the NPC. Now went over there, got to run an NSL Pro card in 10 minutes, and competed as a pro for the first time. And this girl, Tracia, something like that.
Yeah.
Seemed like a nice girl, but she went on, did the show, went on Facebook and put a little rant out there, basically telling of her experience. And her point was not the placing. She took second place.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there
A
was
second out of two.
there
Yeah.
was two of them, so second or last, glass is half full, half empty, however you want to look at it. But that really wasn't her issue. Her issue
No.
wasn't the placing. She said the other girl was very good. She was deservingly won. Her issue was that she wasn't given the respect, in her opinion, the time on stage. She's literally said she walked out there, did her front pose, and was immediately called off to the side. Didn't even get to her back pose. Now, that brings up an interesting scenario because allegedly they judged that portion of their show. Lee Thompson's been adamant they judged round 1, round 2, round 3. It's all judged. So how do you get judged if you never even turn around? They only got 2 poses.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I took away from her video was, when Lee started this whole thing, it was, oh, it's all about the athletes. It's all about the athletes. It's all about the athletes. And this girl made it very clear. Again, she wasn't complaining about her placing.
No.
But basically, she said she came out, she was getting into her back pose, and they said, okay, let's bring him up. They put him on the side of
Right.
the stage. They didn't announce, at every show, it's usually the top 3 or the top 5 are announced. In third place, in
Right.
second place,
Of course.
and then you have your winner. But what they did was she's standing on the side, And she's standing there with the other girl, and she's like, "And your winner is," and they brought the girl out, and then they told the other girl to get off stage.
Right.
So she really didn't have a chance to do her turns at finals. Anybody who competes knows that your pictures at finals. It's nice to have pictures from
Of
shows,
course.
and so to get a little bit of this time on stage is important as a competitor. And especially if I tell you what, it's important as a competitor. I don't know where she is as far as demographics, whether she was able to have friends or family come along.
She's from
But
Texas.
yeah, so that would be an embarrassment to me if I had my friends and family pay money to come to a night show.
Well,
And
let's get
I got
past
to walk out
let's get
and-
past friends and family though, Dave, because listen, she's in Denver. Probably didn't have. Listen, there was 25 people in attendance, so I mean, nobody. There was barely anybody there anyway. But that's not really the point. The point is as a pro in any federation, you should at least get the respect of your time. Number one. Number two, and this point wasn't brought up by our good friends Joe Patero and Greg Valentino on their show, or Christian Duke. These guys, they claim to be journalists, but they don't ask any good questions. What was the rush? You got 2 people in a class. You got 20 people in a show.
I think, I'm not going to quote any direct numbers because I don't want to say anything as being factual.
God forbid.
I think there was, from what I heard, in the ballpark of 20 to 25 people there total competing. There was a very, I shouldn't say a very small crowd, a relatively small crowd, even for that number of competitors.
Sure.
So, yeah, there was no rush. I understand when you have a show where it's, a couple hundred competitors at a
Sure.
local NPC show and you're trying not to make the thing run until midnight. But when you got 2 people in a class, you'd think it would be the opposite. Give them stage time.
They should have had all day long to do as many poses as they want.
I did a show, mid-2000s, and it was when a friend of mine had first kind of taken over promoting. It was a small show, and the numbers were so small,
Right.
he wanted to do the opposite. He's
Right.
like, well, we got to make this night show longer. So he brought on a couple local guest posers along. Chris Cook actually guest posed,
yeah.
but he brought a couple of the good guys from the state to guest pose. And then what he asked if it was okay is if we reran through mandatories at night.
Oh, pad it up.
Come
Of
out at
course.
night.
Yeah.
Come out at night. Do you bodybuilders mind if they completely go through your mandatories again, just to give stage time, make the crowd feel like they got their money's worth a little bit more, and so we did that. So yeah, from a fan's perspective or a competitor's perspective, if you have small numbers at a show, and I mean really small numbers, sometimes I think the best plan is to do the opposite. Give people a little bit more stage time. Go through the comparisons again. Do something to make people who came to watch the show feel like, hey, I wasn't in and out in a half hour.
Well, here's some of the problem I got. All right, I'm going to get down to the basics here and ask some of the questions that should have been asked by the other respective hosts of their own shows, but they chose just to rag on the girl and actually pretty much blame her, which I thought was interesting. But first of all, yeah, there was certainly no time constraint. There's 2 girls. You give them all day long to do whatever they want. Secondly, yeah, she got no recognition whatsoever. Now, listen, this isn't a participation trophy, as was alleged. There's only 2 people in the class. So you're first and you're second. Third,
something. Yeah.
unless something was behind the scenes I didn't see, there was apparently no prize money given out, with some excuse that I heard through the grapevine of, well, if there wasn't more than 2 people in a class, they don't give prize money out. So since when are the athletes held feet to the fire? It's not their responsibility.
I 100% don't agree with that, because the thing is, when you're preparing for a show, you really don't have any idea. You start your diet 10, 12 weeks out. You don't have any idea who's going to show up. But,
No.
Unless they're covering all the competitors' expenses, which I don't know if they are. But if I'm paying for a plane ticket and a hotel to go to a show with with kind of it sitting in the back of my head that I have an opportunity to earn prize money, and just because other people don't show up, my chance to earn an income then goes out the window. So, there's a lot of things going on with the NSL that I don't think really are surprising anybody that's on the inside of the industry.
Let me get to the final point. All right, the excuse that was given, at least this is what was told to one of the other hosts of their show, was that she basically bolted off the stage, went out through the back, through an emergency exit door, and she was gone. So they didn't have a chance to give her second place award. Now,
well, no, because they just, unless she was completely lying, why wouldn't they? You don't ever announce the winner before you announce the second place person.
no, only at the Olympia.
So it's not like they would have.
That's a whole different animal, obviously.
Right. It's not like they would have said, "Oh, your winner is and now in second place. By the way, come back for your awards." Yeah, the whole thing.
Let's get down to brass tacks here. She's on stage. They call the winner. She's still standing there, and according to her, and I'll take her at her words, she was standing there. She kind of gives a hug to the other girl, like congratulations, and she's standing there. Now, I don't know if you had a second place award, wouldn't that have been the time to have given it to her?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the other thing she was upset about is it's standard at any NPC, any IFBB show to do a picture of all the placers together, and they told her there wasn't a picture of the top two together. They filed them off stage, and if I had to speculate as to why I think that they did that, is because when you're trying to promote that, hey, look, we had such a great turnout at the show, or whatever they want to promote, if you have a picture of 5 girls on stage, it looks great. If you have a picture of 1 girl on stage, it's like, okay, well, we just photographed the winner at the evening show.
Right.
However, if you just have a picture of 2 girls, then people start to question, well, why was there only 2 people in the awards? And then it clicks right away, well, there was only 2 girls that entered. It looks bad. So, again,
clearly some lame excuses given. If there's a second place award, you give it to them when they're on stage. There was no nothing. Listen, they messed up, but instead of apologizing for it,
the bottom line is that the NSL is turning out exactly what we thought it would be. It doesn't have anything to do with it being all about the athletes. It's all about Lee. And that's what we that's what we knew it would be from day one. That's exactly what it's turning out to be. It's all about Lee Thompson and his gigantic overinflated ego and his need to have control of everything and whatever.
Well,
anyhow,
we'll keep tabs on that one. As it's a fascinating story at in the least. So anyway. What's new and exciting in the world of bodybuilding, David?
Everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody, but everybody on the forums talking about our partnership with Generation Iron. So, I've had a lot of questions as to what was going on there with Generation Iron. So just want to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown. It's a little bit easier for me to talk about it here than, type everything out on the forums.
Sure.
So basically what we wanted to do in 2016 was we wanted to beef up the quality and the quantity of the videos we're putting out. Some of the guys know the training videos are a little bit less, as you know, not a lot of the big name guys from all over doing a lot of shows, so the opportunities there are a little bit limited. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to focus on high production quality videos. You guys saw the videos that we did with Iron Rebel for Jose and John Meadows leading into the Arnold, and those were absolutely fantastic videos. As good a production quality. We had some great stuff, video footage from the Arnold that we did. Brendan put together some great edits of backstage stuff. And so that's kind of our focus. And so that's where Generation Iron comes in. One, Kai is also exclusive with them. I'm not going to dance around that at all. That, we want to do some stuff with Kai Green, and that opens up that avenue. But also Generation Iron, being the people who produce the movie and these TV shows and the reality shows, they have the know-how, the equipment, the skills to do very high production quality videos. And that's kind of what we were looking for. Like, look, guys, the thing about these training videos that you see, and I'm sure you see a lot of them, is a lot of it is just a guy with a camera following somebody around in the gym.
Sure.
And people look at it and they get a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed with the production value, but they're always wanting more. There's a couple things that come with putting together really good videos. There's a huge time component, editing, shooting. There's a know-how, there's a cost factor. So bringing in a company like Generation Iron and partnering with them, knowing that they already have the setup, the know-how, the skill, it was just a good fit for us. As far as them, they want to share a little bit more contest stuff on their website. So some of the stuff that we do at contests, as far as covering shows, some videos of guys posing routines, things like that, they'll be having some of their stuff on their website. So it's kind of a co-branding. It's going to be the best for both of us. They're working on some stuff already. We're working on some new video projects. I know we just announced it a few weeks ago, but coming up here soon, we should start seeing some of their products and their videos on the website. The thing that we didn't want to do is, I get asked a lot on the forums and even in person, oh, you guys should do more interviews, more video shows. Look, this what we're doing right here, putting together these types of interviews and stuff, it's fine and it's fun, but we wanted quality video. We could do 50 last reps a week. I could interview 100 athletes a week and stuff like that, but that's all being done. It has its place, but we wanted some production value.
And clearly, David, this is not quality. I mean, let's just call it what it is here. So
I'm in my kitchen. You're in your office.
Hey, listen. You want fast and now. This is what you get. But listen, it's the content, of course, David. But you know what I'm actually hopeful for. Listen, clearly the times have changed. Now you and I don't dance around topics. We're pretty to the point and all that. It's pretty much what we're known for, and I don't have any issue with that. I mean, I don't hold back on anything. I actually hope it opens up the doors to partner and do some other things with other entities. I think the day of the exclusive and all that, it's almost a past day. I almost think you almost need to partner up these days. Maybe in a content shared environment type of a thing. But listen, there's lots to be gained for various parties if you're able to put together a deal that works business wise, of course. For both entities, and I think that's a day that's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's got to work on both sides. We had discussed earlier on in the year, the people on the forums were talking about MD partnering with, with some other entities, and what we have to discuss is competition. At the end of the day, Coke's not working with Pepsi on collaborating to whatever. So, we have to look at things from that standpoint, but also if both entities can benefit from some sort of partnership,
Sure.
then so be it. So I agree with you. Moving forward, we all know video is, people are more, I don't want to say, they want to see better video content. It's easier to sit back and watch a video on your phone or your laptop or whatever than sit and read an article. Not as many people are reading, although we still have, fantastic articles that Peter puts out on a weekly basis that are just good gold. But yeah, we're trying to focus on that, and I agree. It's a matter of making it work for both ends, and that's things that we're looking into in 2016.
Well, David, I got to get your opinion on this one now. This is something that popped up this week. It's really only been a matter of time before this was going to surface, but this Photoshop stuff that's going on.
All right, man.
Now listen, I've seen many a internet star arise over the last 5 years in particular. I see these pictures of this Paige Hathaway girl who I don't know personally, this other kid who apparently was representing Shreds, the supplement, company, and clearly there's been a lot of liberty taken with these Photoshop pictures, enhancing certain areas, decreasing other, bringing a waist in and all that. I mean, come on, bro. Where does this start and stop? I mean, that is about like the epitome of pathetic.
I think, to be honest with you, I think it started a long time ago. Look, I think you could go back on a lot of bodybuilding magazine covers all across the industry, ads, pictures people post on websites, and if you get real nitpicky comparing them to the originals, sometimes you can see differences. I mean, you have something as basic. I haven't posted any progress pictures getting ready for my show because it's just not my thing. But I see guys posting progress pictures all the time where they just filter them. They're not even photoshopping them. They're adjusting contrast, and they look 3 weeks leaner than they really are.
Yeah, but hang on. Let me jump in there, though, David. With a competitor, actually, I think it's worse because they put out these filtered photos, these doctored photos, this and that. When this guy shows up, listen, everybody looks at social media, judges and everybody else alike, people, fans, people that are going to be in attendance. All of a sudden they see this guy or girl in person, and guess what?
Happened.
Yeah, all of a sudden you look like shit. No matter how you dice it up, you ain't going to live up to what you've been putting out there.
Yeah,
I think it can hurt.
Filtering photo shoot pictures, I've had a few photo shoots in the past and stuff, and any accomplished bodybuilder I think has had photo shoots. If you're filtering photo shoot pictures is pretty standard, adjusting the contrast to bring out a little bit more detail. Filtering a photo shoot picture in the gym is a little bit different than filtering a contest picture or a contest preparation picture. So we see a lot of that. But back to the photoshopping. I think people are upset because at the end of the day, these people are trying to sell a product. They're saying, I used XYZ product and it helped me build this physique.
Sure.
And you're trying to show off a physique that you don't have. And with Photoshop, it's like, I mean, you can go so far out of whack as far as the one kid, that Devin physique, he was adding what looked like 20 to 30 pounds of muscle to his physique. But on the flip side of it, we talk about, you talk about modeling. We've all seen these videos on the internet where they take a girl who they shoot her for a photo shoot, airbrush her cellulite out of her butt, they bring in her hips, bring in her waist, they do all this and that. So Photoshop isn't anything new, especially when it comes to magazines, selling products. It was interesting that I think the biggest problem with this Devin physique kid and some of these people is they're just going way overboard. It's not like they added a little bit of quad sweep or brought their waist in a little bit. They're just going, you just added 30 pounds of muscle to your physique to where it was so obvious. I think it's a shady practice. I think, like I said, I think adjusting the contrast in some of your pictures to try to make some detail pop, whatever. I wouldn't advise it to competitors, but if you're doing it for a photo shoot. But if you're trying to represent a company and with your physique and stuff like that, I don't think people should be photoshopping stuff. And people are gonna be paying closer attention to pictures and stuff like that. They're gonna be looking at ads and looking at pictures of these people in real life that they post on their social media and comparing them and calling them out. So it's only a matter of time.
Well, listen, I mean, it can be argued, like you said, the entire industry is based on, a certain amount of falsehoods. I mean, listen, is taking any supplement going to make you, turn you into a Ronnie Coleman or a Phil Heath? No, of course not. No, but that's life in general with any kind of advertising. Somehow I got the idea a long time ago when I sprayed myself with this Axe spray that all of a sudden like 10 girls didn't just start hoarding around me.
That work out for you.
Yeah, I mean, so,
Oh, dude, I was at the gym locker room yesterday. Were you in Appleton, Wisconsin yesterday with your Axe body spray? Holy shit.
That was me. Yeah.
Dude, I came into the gym locker room and there was a cloud of Axe body spray. I was like,
it's got to be one of the old guys because they're the only ones that use the locker room for anything of significance. I haven't used a locker room in 30 years. I mean, I go in. I mean, I've had the luxury of not having.
Old guys just walk around like they own the place, butt ass naked, 3-4 showers. There was a guy there I posted on my Facebook just as a joke. I shit you not. There was an old guy. This is how he got dressed. Okay, and I'm sitting there, putting my shit away and whatever, getting ready to leave. He put on his undershirt
first,
and then he put on his this is starting from naked undershirt.
Who puts on their shirt first?
Undershirt first.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up either. This is. I wish I could. Undershirt and then his overshirt. Then he puts on his watch. Then he puts on his socks, and then he puts on his shoes. And then his underwear and his pants. In what world do you put on I could see even your socks before your underwear. Fine, your feet are cold, whatever. But to actually put on it's hard to put pants on.
You think?
Or shoes. This guy wanted to go commando until the zero barrier. He wanted to drag it out. I don't know. Don't ever be guys that watch him. Don't ever become that guy in the locker room.
What world?
Like you were younger, and don't repeat that when you get older.
In a world where David Baye goes into the locker room and puts his shoes on before his pants. Welcome to the locker room.
No. Oh, one other thing I wanted to touch on. I thought this was kind of interesting.
Quickly, my friend. I have minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. There's so much talk about flexible dieting. All these competitors. Mainly
flexible dieting. Is that the idea?
Bikini competitors. Basically, if it fits your macros, if I get 20 grams of carbs from Oreos or 20 grams of carbs from broccoli, it's the same. So there's all these people talking about flexible dieting. Well,
what kind of crap? Wait a minute. Flexible isn't that like an oxymoron? The whole idea of a diet is it's regimented.
Calories
there is
in
no
versus
flexibility.
Calories out. But guys on Facebook are talking about, and I just posted it on the MD forums. You guys will have to go on and see what you think. Kevin Levrone actually posted something about flexible dieting, about how he's he's gone over the science of it and stuff like that, and it's something that he's working in, and it's something that he's helped stay in shape. And I guess I wanted to talk about it because you guys got to take into consideration Kevin is not actually getting ready for a show. I
right.
love Kevin. I mean, MD's always had a great relationship with Kevin, been a fan for a long time. So what I don't want happening is I don't want Kevin getting beat up over his comment on flexible dieting. Look, I'd have to talk to him. This guy's all over Europe, all over the place. I'll have to give him a call and see what he says. But I don't know that his feelings on flexible dieting would be the same as far as a contest prep. But he says
highly
right now,
doubtful.
And if you've seen pictures of him, the guy's in great shape. He's hovering over 250. The guy's benching 405.
Walking around in great shape is one thing. Walking around in shape to be on the stage, looking good and wearing a slingshot, standing under the halogen light bulbs.
A slingshot
is a whole different animal, bro. But listen, I ain't buying this flexible anything. Maybe I'm old school, but I'll take it. You got to suffer when you're dieting. I hear more of these diets. I had a peanut butter. Wait, whoa, peanut butter? Who the hell's eating peanut? I was eating sawdust and chicken breasts for 12 freaking weeks, bro. There was no cheat day. There was no cheat, refill. There was no. And if I hear one more idiot use the word peak week, I'm gonna freaking stab my eyes out with a shrimp fork.
I feel kind of bad.
Don't ever use that phrase, bro.
I'm pretty relaxed. You know, I mean, I haven't,
Yeah, you look relaxed.
I do most of my work from MD from home, so I'm
Mm.
not in an office setting or a managerial position like I had been in the past. So I really don't have to deal with people. So I haven't been too crabby. I had some kid in the locker room the other day go, "So you getting ready for peak week?"
Oh,
And I'm like, "Dude,
Jesus.
I'm like,
Listen, peak
don't
week.
ever say peak week to me."
Listen, bro. Peak week is in the same realm of don't use the words transparency, inclusivity, peak week, hammies, prego. Where else can I go? I mean, just don't use these words, please. And please, by all means, the one that irks me the most on this earth, conversate. It's not a word.
You know, I'm going to throw in two things while we're talking about pet peeves.
There you go.
Irregardless is not a word.
Right?
Regardless says without regard, regardless. So you don't have to ever say irregardless. And the other one is if you're trying to tell somebody that you don't care, it's I couldn't care less or I could not care
Yeah,
less.
because if you
I
could
hear
care
people say,
less, actually, there's room.
I could care less. Well, then that means you care, and you're not trying to say what you want to say. Sorry, that's my
I
little.
sense a thread coming up of most overused and annoying phrases, but listen,
I started one not too long ago. My buddy
there you
Kyle
go.
Kubicek posted it on Facebook, and I got a good laugh out of it. So I put it on the forums. I'll have to dig it up. But you got to
All
hop
right.
on a plane here pretty quick,
Yeah,
huh?
actually, I got to fly, literally.
All right.
I'm off to Orlando. Like I say, we'll have some reporting back from that. Like I say, 3 pro divisions and a big NPC show, bigger expo even, of course, big industry show. So we will be back this week. We're going to start kicking these out a little bit more
Yeah, we'll talk about
often as now we're
talk
getting into
about
the heat of the season. New York's coming up. We got a whole bunch of shows en route to the USA's, of course, and the Olympia in September. So lots of stuff to discuss. But the bigger issue, we're going to have to discuss the results, David, of your placing this weekend coming up in Wisconsin. I just hope if you play second, bro, you actually get announced and actually give you an award. So on that note,
I'm gonna get roasted on the forums.
Listen, I want to see some good picks, and like I say, don't storm off the stage before they give you the award, David. That's the key.
All right.
So, all right, buddy. Well, that's going to wrap things up here for TLR for David Baye, who will be standing on stage under the spotlight this weekend. I'm Bob Chick. See you later, everybody.